Hey folks, welcome back. On the bench today, a 3-speed tranny out of my 1938 Plymouth. Yet another video featuring the transmission. And you might ask yourself, why the heck is this transmission out of this car again? This is like the third time in like a year and a half. Well, the tranny's out because I pulled the engine to rebuild the engine, so the tranny had to go out. So it's sitting there. And as I'm still waiting for engine parts to arrive, there is something I want to deal with on this tranny. So I figure the further I go, the more I learn. I think I get a little bit smarter, I think. We can maybe cover some better topics or maybe some more in-depth material. And I like sharing what I learned, and I like others to be able to learn from my experiences too. So let's go a little bit further into what we're going to do today is just deal with the rear seal. When I rebuilt the tranny the very first time I had it out, I put in new washers, thrust washers, needle bearings, all that good stuff, bearings, everything. I found an original rawhide seal, and I rolled it in oil and I pushed it and tried to soften it up just to get it to work better. Apparently, that's the deal you're supposed to do, and it still kind of leaks, kind of bugs me, drives me nuts. It leaks on the inside of the park brake housing right in there in that shaft. So I'm going to progress to change that seal again. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to try and find a modern seal. So why not do a video on changing the rear seal of your tranny? Let's have some fun and let's learn some more stuff.
At this point, I'm just taking apart park brake linkage. There's some cotter pins under there that I'm pulling out. This is just a piece of twisted lock wire. That sets the clearance on the park brake band there on the opposite side of where it's activated by the linkage. And you set your height there on that park brake band with that screw. And there's a hole drilled through the head of the screw there, that bolt. And it's locked in place with the lock wire there. And that's important because if you make that too tight, you can actually partially engage your lock band, and it gets hot. That comes from experience. I was driving and I could smell a burning smell. I set that park band up too tight and it was starting to smoke. So I pulled over, basically cut that lock wire on the side of the road, backed off the brake and carried on. Here I'm just trying to get the cotter pin out. There's a cotter pin through the nut that holds the transmission park brake on there on the output shaft. I'm just digging away at that cotter pin. It's a little tricky. So just tapping that drum there with a mallet came off pretty easy. It's an interference fit. It's not like a tapered wedge in there. Now I want to look at the center of the park brake housing there, the drum, and just see what that surface looks like. The seal rides on that surface. Mine was good and clean. It wasn't pitted. It wasn't gouged or anything. So I'm not worried about that causing the oil leak.
Alright, took my shifter gears out. Shifter linkage, that's super easy. That just sits at the top. This is reverse, this is first, second, third. And I have tried what I can do to get that seal out of there. And see, I've drilled holes, I've tried pullers. I don't have the right tool to get it out. So I'm going to proceed to take the rear housing off, transmission, bring that seal out with it. I said I wasn't taking the tranny part, right? Man, I have not had much luck with that seal. Guess I should learn how to take the seal apart, because that's not the right way, clearly. I got a hole here and here blowing that apart. Tranny looks good. I did put a magnet down there, you know. I'm interested in maybe getting that magnet out. Seeing what's on it. That'd be cool, eh? It's my new synchro mesh I put in last spring. Okay, let's try and take this magnet out of here. See what it looks like. I got extra lighting here. Hopefully you can see what's going on. You know what? I'm going to show you down inside of there. There's my magnet. I just took a real strong magnet and stuck it down there to collect any filings or anything that comes out of that tranny housing. You know, while I got this apart, this is your input pinion here. I want to point something out. I tried to make this point in an earlier video, but I think this describes it really well. That input pinion is in constant mesh with the countershaft. That's the countershaft on the bottom of the tranny there. See, it's always turning. So if you want to give your 6-volt starter a little bit of extra help when it's cold out, don't just put it in neutral. Because when your tranny's in neutral and your clutch is actually engaged, this is turning, your tranny's turning, and that gear oil in the tranny is very heavy. And it has a little bit more draw on your starter. So if you push the clutch in, start the engine over, this won't be turning. Very stubborn. So, there's the culprit. As you can see, I tried to get it out without taking the tranny apart. There's the felt piece that was inside of there. Apparently it's supposed to seal it, but I didn't have much luck, and that was brand new seal when I put it in there, so let's see what we can find. So much for taking the whole tranny apart. Not taking the whole tranny apart, I'm pretty much there.
All right, I'm going to try and get the magnet out. Just show you what I've accumulated in that housing in a short period of time.
Playing hard to get. My hands are a little big. There's definitely
The paste on that magnet. Quite a bit. Surprisingly. That's one season of driving. Take your damn fingers off. I've proceeded to take just about everything off of it. No large chunks. Just a paste. Metallic paste, I guess, is what it is. Bearing material, I guess. Fines. Yes. Surprising, eh? 1 year driving. 1 season of driving. So that's going to help keep it clean. My oil cleaner, I think. Sure it will. The downside to having a magnet in there might be is that when I change my oil, metal particles don't come out with the oil. They're stuck to the magnet, right? Alright, that's about as much damage as I can do to that tranny today. Everything's fine. I already had a gasket kit anyways because I plan to go in here. There's got to be a way to get that seal out of the rear tranny housing with the tranny still in the car. I don't know. Folks who've done it, chime in. I have not. This is the seal. It's rawhide in this area here. That's actually doing the sealing. And then there's some felt pack that goes inside of there. That's it. So I'm going to take this to the bearing shop. Hopefully they can find me a seal. That'd be nice. That's the sealing surface right there. It actually is decent shape. It's not gouged up or anything, so I'm not really worried about that. Feels good on there. But it was leaking. Alright, so I'll check back in when I find a seal. Yeah, first world problems here. I'm forced to push my car in and out of the garage, depending how much space I need to work. Happen to be snowing out there today, but she's back in for the night.